Previously on Kingmakers.
I see Vega and Titus drop, and now I feel this overbearing presence watching me, a familiar presence, the one I've dubbed the Observer. Arufa would speak about using emotions and experience and belief to power his magic.
And I think when I look at Razroth, I'm suddenly like horrified and afraid for some reason. But Vega's on the ground, so I'm gonna run. Vega.
We need to get back. We need to find
Vega.
them. They can't fight those things alone. Go ahead and roll again, Leah. 4 times.
All right.
Same thing.
Let's go.
Woo!
23 success. 71 failure. 78 failure. 32 success. 78, yet another
Okay.
failure.
It is going to bite you.
I'm going to defensively cross my arms if I can. I know one was crushed. I'm going to try and bring that crushed, useless arm towards my face area to try and protect. And I imagine it's going to basically just tear the hand off by the elbow joint.
Jesus fuck. Lear's just had his fucking arm ripped off.
Erafia!
I will try and teleport myself away.
Just you.
Yes. I got a 2.
I react with a 41 success. We've seen it before where he's in one place and he kind of walks into his own shadow. He kind of like goes behind an object and disappears and just returns somewhere else. I'm going to reach out. You're going to see golden tendrils go behind the staff he walks behind to disappear, and I follow.
With a 2, can I strike his hand so that he cannot?
Oh wow.
As
Okay.
I'm turning around, I know that your hand is reaching out. I strike it, and then I'm gone.
Would you like to
All
tell
right.
us where you go, Urfir? Or is that a surprise?
What is the tallest mountain on the planet?
So
That's where I am. I'm
you
on the
appear
very
there,
peak of
on
that.
the very peak of a mountain. We see the wind whipping through his hair and his cloak and his clothes. What expression do you have, Urfir?
I'm focusing a lot as I stand on the peak of this mountain and raise my staff up to the sky to give myself even more height. And as I'm turning in the summoning of bringing myself to the mountain, I'm already beginning to conjure my power and divine every living sentient creature on the planet. Okay.
Meanwhile, Lear is on the ground, being attacked, crying out for your fear. Jude's soul, which looks like a sword at the moment, is still trapped in between the teeth of this observer. Silent, watchful. Raz, consumed by rage and anger. And Estrella, one hit from death. Vega and Titus, trapped, watching, unable to act, during the decimation and defeat of their friends. And that is where we end part 1 of Kingmakers. What you are about to witness will contain violence, disturbing imagery, adult themes, and may leave you doubting who you thought you were. Proceed at your own risk.
Step 1. Conjuration. Gather your power. Step 2. Divination. Locate your source. Step 3. Convocation. Fold space and bring the source.
I gave you what you asked of me. You gave me nothing in return!
I want it. I want it. Do not mistake this for punishment. This is an equal trade-off. Now look around you and put you away.
You call on me again. Never forget the past.
Life doesn't always give us what we deserve, it gives us what we need.
As our existence wanes and dies, legends remain.
We are the kings, the sentinels of the future.
Many who claim they've lived their lives in beauty.
What does it mean to be good or be evil?
And at the crossroads, be who they want you to be, or be who are born to be.
Legendary rangers, steal, sell.
Everything comes at a cost.
Don't forget the river.
Where are they?
All of them. People from over
Everyone.
there. People from over there.
No.
People from
No. Just those I know. Those from this side.
all of them.
1 second. From everyone.
It's not yours to
That's 126.8 years. That should be enough. It will be. Draw the power. The first thread. Love. I see him. I feel it. I weave. The power of time. Taken from them all.
Just a moment.
They won't miss it.
They won't know.
Weave it in.
Use the new power. The dread.
No. Not this time.
What if it doesn't work?
It will.
What if we need dread? Defeat them.
Don't think of them. Don't say the names.
They are listening. Watching.
1 second from everyone.
Concentrate their fear.
This is too much.
We can't very well before.
Yes.
No.
Does it matter? When is before? When is next? Is this even now? So many voices. So many moments stolen. Borrowed. Given.
We have to do this.
Keep them alive.
Concentrate that alive.
Keep everyone alive.
Steal a moment so they can feel alive.
Steal a moment so they can live alive.
Concentrate their fear.
A trickle. A river. Don't forget the river. That lake. No. Grasp it. Now let the spell flow outwards. You've done the work. Let it run. 1 second from everyone. 126 years. They are mine. Hold them. 15 minutes here. Done. Now summon the time for yourself. Use that energy to drive the world backwards up the mountain. Reverse the flow. Hold it.
Lose yourself.
There.
That's it.
Is it done? They know.
Be honest.
So where have you been? Why did you leave me? Why didn't you come? I needed you. I need you. So where have you been?
Everyone, listen to me. I have little time to explain. Up ahead is a homunculus of Titus.
This isn't right. It was too real. It was too real to be a dream. Oh. Okay, think. You're still you, right? Yeah, okay. Who was here, then he wouldn't let it be a dream. Oh no. Why? Did we fail? No. It's not possible. It's just not.
Titus, go ahead and roll for us.
Anything in particular?
Well, you're currently being dragged through the old wood by this creature, and you have sort of kind of come to. So either magic or some sort of physical resistance.
Okay.
Okay, that is an 89. What do you think happened?
I'm just overwhelmed.
Yeah, okay. Are you trying to release yourself with your hands? Or is it physical, or were you doing magic? What were you trying to do? Transform?
Yeah. If it's pulling me by my leg and I shrunk down into something smaller, I might be able to scurry away. All right. Does it notice me coming to?
Ooh, why don't you go ahead and roll again for me? Do a dodge. It's not exactly accurate, but we'll make do. Oh yeah, 99 doubles. Absolutely, it notices you. So I guess it's going to stop then and turn around and come toward you.
All right. Narrator, how torn up am I?
If memory serves, we left it up to you for reasons. So.
Then I'm quite banged up.
Yeah.
I don't mean its gaze.
Why not?
Is it still moving?
Are you afraid of it?
I'm afraid of what... I'm afraid of what it might show.
Yeah, and it is like a weird version of you, so I imagine that's kind of bizarre to look at.
I try to speak to it.
Okay. What do you say?
I know we're vastly different, right? I mean, look at us, but we're made of the same parts in some way. You could let me go, right? If you can even if you can even understand me, which I really hope you can.
Go ahead and roll. Will you also roll not just a social, do something magical as well? Like either some sort of bond, or you can do alchemy if you want. We'll just take the better roll is what's happening here. That's much better. I mean, this creature is made from your blood. So if you're trying to control it or trying to communicate with it and you're using magic, it's probably going to be a lot more effective than if you were just speaking. I think what you notice, though, is this weird homunculus creature, which is like 7.5 feet tall, towering over you. Its limbs are far too long. It looks down at you. It tilts its head a little bit to the side and is trying to verbalize your words. It's trying to mimic you and get the sound of your voice right. So it's, breathing. And it's awkward, but it's not necessarily, you can tell it's not really understanding what you're saying, but it somehow is trying to become more like you. It understands at least that portion. But it does not attack you.
It doesn't seem to have malicious intent when mocking me.
Not right now. Not right now, no. It's like it's trying to learn. But I mean, it's terrifying looking, so it's up to you. You can see the ribs poking out. The last one had weird leathery bat wings because it was made from part bat. So it's not a very fun creature that stands before you.
Okay. I'm going to try to deceive it.
Okay. How would you like to deceive it?
As I keep talking to it, I'm going to try to cast a spell to kind of sleight of hand him.
Oh, okay. Sleight of hand how?
As I start to communicate with it and say, listen, this place is huge. Look at it. You could live here, right? You could traverse around these woods and do whatever you want, right?
Do what you want.
Yeah. Whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
And we can just go our separate ways. And as I'm saying this, I try to tuck a hand behind my back and cast Soul Soother.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. Ooh, I like this. 29, success. This is awkward, but what do you... Because you're soothing yourself sort of in a weird way. So what would make you feel better in this moment if you were him?
I think it's really simple. In some sick, twisted, grotesque way, me and this creature understand each other. And I think that's what I've been after all along.
To be understood.
Yeah. And I think in this connection, maybe just for a second it lets its guard down. And lets me in.
Okay. What happens then? Do you sneak away from it, or do you just walk away from this homunculus version of you?
I think I slowly start to back up.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever you want. Whatever you please. Right? And then I start to run.
I think this creature is very confused by your presence. You had a moment of understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, if this is how you would feel, but this is how I think you would feel based on how you've been so far. All you want is to be understood by another creature or individual. You had this moment of understanding, and now you're running and leaving this person behind. So I think this is probably your worst nightmare, wouldn't it? Yeah. So how do you think you would react if this happened to you?
If this happened to Titus, or if this happened to Titus Homunculus Monster?
If this happened to Titus.
I think I'd scream.
And that is exactly what happens. The homunculus howls into the old wood. It's painful. It's not angry. It's sad. And you keep running. You don't look back.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile,
Everyone listen to me. I have little time to explain. Up ahead is a homunculus of Titus. Leah, do not try and move anyone to safety using magic. And Estrella, do not attempt to clone yourself. Just drive it back and kill it swiftly. I glance over at Vega and nod.
I look at Erifir, slightly horrified, and then look at Jude, who I would have the hand of right now, and realize where I am for a second. And then I'm searching my pockets for the orb that I know that I had.
you have it. You still have it.
Titus. And then as soon as Razroth opens his mouth, the look cannot be described. It is fear, anger, agony, all at once. Just
I haven't noticed. I've turned to Arufa and I'm about to step towards him, and I stagger forward and grab onto your shoulder, Arufa. Something's wrong. The woods sound loud. Can all of you hear that? They sound louder than they did a second ago.
The leaves, you mean?
No. No,
Raz,
never
are you
mind.
okay?
I feel off, incomplete.
We'll get some rest once we find Titus, yeah? Okay?
Yes.
In
yes.
the perspective of those who do not remember, that orb in Vega's hands, has that always been there, or?
No. Sorry, I'm shaking my head and I realize they can't see me, so no, it hasn't.
Right.
The only people that remember where that orb came from are Titus and Vega at the moment. To everyone else, it would be a surprise.
What's going on, Vega? What's that face? Mage, what's happening? What have you done?
We haven't got time. Titus is in trouble. I'm sorry, Razroth. We'll figure out what it is you hear soon. We really must hurry.
Yes. Oh, you're right.
Was there anything else?
Anything else?
Anything else that stood out to you? I trust you. You're saying not to do these things, so you must know something. Was there anything else that went wrong?
Just let's try and defeat it with your physical prowess.
Okay.
After you. I motion to everyone else.
I am keeping far closer to Razroth than I usually would be. and my eyes do not leave him as we travel. And I'm trying to use this orb that I have in order to locate both Titus and the homunculus right now, since it is made of both of their blood.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead and roll for that. Might be a type of divination. Yeah, there's a shift because you're using the orb, and I think we did max shift of 20, right?
Yeah. Partial success.
Okay. So you do actually know the general direction of where you can feel this homunculus is. And I think actually because of this partial success, you feel more than just a location and a direction. You actually feel a little bit of the emotion of the sadness and pain of being left behind. You feel that a little bit, and that's might be a little bit confusing because it's coming from a monster.
It is this way, and I point in a general direction. Just sort of shake off whatever I'm used to these sort of feelings happening now, these snippets of other people's life. I just brush it off.
I unsheath my sword, uncertain, and follow.
Yes.
I can really use some help! Titus!
Titus!
Hey, it's right on my tail!
God.
Titus needs to go behind us. Don't let the thing near him.
Titus,
Come on.
get behind me.
Oh.
I run behind them.
Is he wounded?
I step in front.
Titus is incredibly wounded, yes. Would you like
If
to
he's with us.
describe what has happened to you?
This whole time I've been running, it almost looks like my leg is barely holding on. If you look closely, you can maybe see a little bit of bone. Scratches all down my face. My armor's a little cut and torn asunder. It's not looking great.
I'm going to run to his side and attempt to heal him if I can, if we have time before this thing shows up.
Go ahead and roll for that.
Okay. Here goes nothing. A partial success.
Okay, yeah. What does it look like? What do we see?
With my unsheathed sword, I'm going to run up towards Titus. It's going to start glowing as I channel magic energy towards it. And as I do, I'm going to place it by his leg, where like a splint would be. And you're going to see his leg in real time. And I apologize, Titus, because it's a partial. It's going to hurt a lot as your leg twists itself back, the bone and sinew sew back into place, and the wound shuts. You're not fully healed, but you'll be able to move and you'll be fine as the sword then takes in the pain and the trauma from his body and becomes heavier. And I take it back.
Thanks, Leah.
We don't need to fight this thing. We should just run. We should run. Erifit, we should run, right?
No, we can defeat it.
You sure?
Well, I don't know where to run. We could be lost in here for days, months. Knowing that thing is out there is only going to add to our fear.
Erifit's right. It'll just hunt us down.
It can be killed. We need only work together.
I grip my swords and I'm ready to react.
Yes, I'm in front, with my sword drawn as well.
Let's do initiative. Yes. And I think yep, go ahead.
And just in case the audience forgot, Leah and Estrella are reaction classes,
That's
so
right.
they can go pretty much whenever within a turn order.
That's right. Usually just after one person takes an action. You can still roll initiative if you want it to be like, well, I didn't react, so I'll figure out when my turn is, but... okay.
And I think I've stood beside Jude as well to make a wall.
Okay. So who do we got first? What's our order? Those watching, the cam sync should be fixed now.
I think
It looks like Estrella.
and then Titus,
Okay.
Jude.
then Jude.
Oh,
Rhea, Jude.
Leah
Perfect.
goes before me.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right.
Shreya,
Yeah.
Leah.
So you guys are prepared. So when this homunculus comes tearing out into this like clearing space where you are, you will get the first turn. It is surprised. It is expecting Titus and sees all of you instead. However, Eurofear, I need 3 rolls from you.
Okay.
Really quickly here, and they are your magical bullshit in relation to what you just did. So whatever you choose to use for that is fine.
Okay. 3 rolls. With any
Yes.
shifts?
Yes. Because you used emotion, right? You used love.
Yeah.
Then yes, you would have a shift. What else did you
10.
use? Describe to me how you cast the spell.
Okay. The first one, I will remove my own shift from it because I was divining everybody, and I immediately became concerned about what everybody meant. So it took me longer to do than it should have done. So I tell you what, I'm just going to roll that one. The second one was drawing power. That one, I think, would probably be the one that I used emotion for.
Mm-hmm.
Partially the emotion of love, because that is weaved into every spell so that I can be identified by Vega, and partially the emotion of love because it's the only thing that I think makes me feel stable and like myself and not like a drone.
Okay.
And then the last cast, I don't think I used. I think this one was just neurosurgery.
Yeah. Okay.
Of spell weaving.
Yeah, and you
concentration.
weren't using dread magic this time, were you? No.
I put no
you were
dread
doing old
magic in any of this.
Right. Okay. Go ahead and roll that one. That one does have a success or a shift. That's a 20 shift.
Okay, well, add the 20 shift to that then. I didn't put one on there.
Oh, does that mean you have succeeded by 5? That's what that means, right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. As far as you are concerned, as far as you are aware, everything has worked according to your plan. You have gone back 15 minutes. You've warned everyone. However, what is this going to do to your body? What is going to happen to you? Will you feel the effects
because
of this?
of the failure or because... or what was the planned?
It is the summoning of your power. You did the 96 failures, so I'm just assuming it's going to be taxing on you in some way or the other. I'm leaving it up to you, though. It can also not be, and I can then use the failure in another way, but I'll leave it up to you.
I don't think I would have been able to even cast this if it had been just an outright failure. And do you know what it did? I'm gonna DM you it.
Okay.
Is that strong enough?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
This is your... Okay. Sure. Yeah.
That's
Then yes,
96
I will take
failure.
that deal. Fuck yeah, I'll take that
And
deal.
it needs to be the equivalent of turning back the entire world.
Yeah, is it permanent?
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out. Oh, spicy. Okay, I accept your proposal.
Okay.
All right, so then you're not going to stumble down from exhaustion or anything like that, but I think there's probably a little bit of you at some point is going to be like, where is the equal trade here? What happened and what is missing? Okay. Thank you. We may return now. Oh, this isn't the right one. This is the right one. But I'll come back. Hello.
Okay, so this thing's coming towards us?
Yes. You guys get the first round, so I believe it's Rhea that's first, right?
Looking at this thing, do I notice, since we have the jump on it, do I notice anything that looks like it might be a weak point?
Go ahead and roll, because this is the first time I think you've encountered this creature, because we rolled back 15 minutes.
Right. Is it similar at all to the homunculus that we faced in episode 1?
It is very similar, although this one looks more fleshed out, more like Titus. Okay. He's got his eyes, he doesn't have the weird wings. He's still pretty, like, skeletal looking. His arms are far too long, they've got the claws. It's very unnatural. So I think you could probably have a 10 shift for that if you wanted, when rolling your observe or...
Right. 85 failure. Okay. Now, am I still able to act despite taking a look at them?
Yeah,
okay.
If you'd like to act, but it means you're not doing a reaction this turn.
Yeah, that's
right.
Totally
okay.
fine.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
I'm gonna, because Arafir already told us, put all we can into it, go for it, as in, our physical strength. So I'm gonna go ahead and I will start spinning my blades, and eventually I'm gonna go ahead and cross them. And it's similar to how I've coated the blades in wind before. I'm gonna go ahead and summon, the energy that would be created from future Rhea practicing into the blades in order to hopefully hit a little bit harder.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for me. I'm trying to fix something here with the stream, but yes, go ahead and...
It's okay. Flat roll, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. And this is illusion I'll be able to use?
Yes.
3 success.
Wow, holy shit. Okay, what happens?
Well, the energy I think is a little bit more than I would have hoped for, which is good in this fashion.
It's great in this fashion. However, I think you get a little blip of deja vu as you're doing this, because this is exactly what happened last time when you summoned more energy than you had intended, and you summoned them. But that doesn't happen, obviously, but you get that weird sensation.
Right. With that being said, am I able to still make an attack, or would I hold on to that?
Oh no, you absolutely can. I just think you get that weird sense. You can make an attack, or you can.
Gotcha.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm lunging for one of its claws, trying to chop it off at the wrist.
Okay. Roll for your attack.
Okay. And is there a shift? Great. 79 failure.
Okay, what do you think happens?
I think as I'm lunging for it, maybe that sense of deja vu kind of catches me off guard. I hesitate just as I'm about to go ahead and strike this thing, and I bounce backwards.
Yeah, and I think it might be a little bit alarming to you as well that it reacts the way Titus would. So it's all of a sudden as if you're sparring with Titus, and that probably fucks you up a little bit as well. As you go in to lunge, he reacts and blocks and moves exactly the way Titus would have. That's kind of weird.
I shake my head and I stand there waiting for the next to go.
Okay, who's next?
That would be me. However, as a reaction class, I would like to say that I was standing. So the forests, the canopy isn't concealing the entire skyline, is it?
Yes, it is.
It is. There's no sun coming through.
No, there's no, because you're in the old wood at the moment, and it's, even though it looks like there should be sky above you, it's mostly gray or foggy, and you can't really see out of the wood.
Okay. All right. In which case, is there any light coming out of it whatsoever?
From the top of the canopy, like where?
Correct. Like as the trees and the leaves kind of like interlace, is there any opening? Are there any shafts of light coming down, or is it sealed by the looks of it?
It feels and looks sealed, yep.
All right. Then in which case, I simply am standing holding my turn until
Okay.
I need to act.
All right, who is next?
That is me.
Next up.
Yeah. I am going to run my hand along my sword, and I would like to make my sword incredibly hot, like red hot. So
go ahead and roll for it.
89.
Okay, but out of curiosity though, how do you do this? You're using alchemy, right?
Yeah.
Are you changing the properties of the blade itself?
I was thinking about using an immense amount, like a tiny pocket of circulating vicious air to create friction of heat in order to heat up the blade.
Okay.
And maybe that's just not the way to do that. But yeah.
Yeah, I think probably, God, do we want to... Is it too hot? See, because like Phaelin doesn't automatically mean that you don't do the thing. And I think...
Yeah, maybe it's too hot. I'm using my hands to do this.
Yeah, and I think maybe you were trying to do air circulation or something like that to heat up the blade, and you just do it too well that all of a sudden you're holding a burning kettle, you know, kind of thing. And you just reached out and touched the frying pan.
God, I dropped my sword. Yeah. That's it for me.
I think it is me up next.
Yep.
Totally. Narrator, how far away is the homunculus from us?
Let's see. It was running after you, so I'm gonna... And it... Estrella just attacked it. Or tried to attack it, so it is engaged with Estrella. So I would say not too far, unless Estrella wants to say she, like, closed a 30-foot gap or something like that.
I mean, Estrella's fast, but I don't know if 30 feet be reasonable?
I think you're wicked fast. Like, you're one of the best in the kingdom. You're guarding the king. So if we want to say you closed a 30-foot distance, I think that's fair to say.
All right, then there it is.
Makes sense to me.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I'm going to spend my turn kind of contemplating what we learned from our last fight, and
That's right, because you remember. How are you handling this, by the way?
awfully.
Okay.
And it took me a while to figure out what I'm doing on this turn. Part of me almost said, he keeps running. Leah hears up his leg, he's like, oh, see ya. But we're sticking around to see if this is the real crew or not. I would like to spend my turn targeting his blood, literally trying to feel my own blood moving through it. Earlier in the session, I rolled and observed to see if Titus noticed Vega's blood orb. So that kind of clicks in my mind that the blood magic with him still works. So I'm going to spend my turn focusing and trying to target his blood. Literally be able to feel his bloodstream through his body. And I'm bleeding everywhere.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That as well.
Okay, yep. Go ahead and roll for that. I'm also curious if you have I feel like you have a shift because of the blood, but I also feel like you have a negative shift because you just went back in time and I feel like that's a trigger point for you anyway, right? Like it's your nightmare to be caught in a loop and be doing things over and over again. Of any sort, yeah. Yeah, so I also feel like this is probably just going to add to that feeling that this isn't even real. Probably, unfortunately. Gotcha. But I mean, that's up to you. Okay, 51 success. What happens?
I think eventually my wheezing stops and Titus gets into a really closed eye state. You can visibly see me become calmer, and I'm just one with his blood, waiting for next turn.
Okay. Who's next?
Erafir.
I am next.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I'm going to watch this thing. What is it doing right now?
It's just dodged Estrella's attack. It was not expecting you guys, but yeah, it does look like it's going to engage.
With Estrella?
Yes.
Okay, once again, I'm going to try Defying Gravity. I'm focusing on this thing's... It's on all fours, right? It has, like, hind legs.
It does have hind legs, but it is actually, like, hunched standing because it stood up once it reached this clearing for you guys.
Fine. I'm focusing on its legs then, since it has legs and arms. And I'm going to make them much heavier.
Ooh.
And I am taking the gravity from 4 other places and placing them around its legs so that the gravity is 4 times stronger there.
Okay.
And can I have a shift because I am untethered?
Yes.
From a previous weakness.
Yes, you also have a shift for being in the old wood, don't forget.
Wow.
91. What happens?
It's been so long since I've cast a spell without a particular component that I mistook it for a weakness that has been lost, when in fact it was a valued part of the calculation. This is just a straight up nothing happens. I push my staff out and nothing happens at all. Not a single spark of magic. I think Vega would be aware that literally I do nothing other than stand there and thrust the staff forward and then pull the staff back. And that would be the end of my turn.
Okay. Question. How does this make you feel? I think this is the first time you've ever cast magic and it just didn't happen. Ever.
This would feel like... Actually, right now, this simply feels like the car doesn't start.
Right, okay.
I don't think I'm going to overthink this immediately.
All right. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Do you react to it at all?
Absolutely. Does he react to it?
Yeah, does Eric?
Yeah, that's a good
There's
question.
probably a brief perplexed look over my face, and then I place the staff down, and I'm immediately over it and about to concentrate on what I'm going to do next.
I just nod once, satisfied that he tried to do something and didn't just pretend to try and do something. And with the memory of what I did last time, I attempt once again to restrain the creature.
Okay.
And this is a different homunculus, you said, to the one we fought originally.
No, it's different to the one way back in episode 1, is what I was referring to. But yeah, this is the same one that you met before we accidentally summoned like 4 more.
Okay, then I'd like to use the blood orb and evoke the memory inside the homunculus of the blood being taken from it. And ideally make it feel like the blood is being removed from it backwards and is pulling it back towards the earth in a way that would, it would manifest as like as if all the blood has just come out of his back and is like tethering it back. And I don't know what that would be, so I'm gonna go with summoning.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can cast anything with any type of magic. It's just the flavor text, sort of, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and roll for that.
20 shift for using the orb.
Yes, that is correct. I think technically
19
you would
failure.
also have a shift for being in the woods, but
we're maxed out.
Oh, okay, 98. So what happens?
I think it's the same as Erifir, actually. I literally just, I'll hold it out, and there's an intent there, and you can see that there's something that's trying to happen, but nothing happens. And I blink a few times, and then my head snaps to Razroth again, because what actually happens is I'm distracted by the fact that I'm constantly right now trying to feel to see if Razroth is pulling from dread magic around us, so I can try and stop him from doing it, and it's meaning that I just don't have enough to cast.
Who's next?
It's me. I think everyone springs into action very quickly, and I hesitate for a moment because I'm still trying to get my bearings. I think our entire time walking through these woods, I've been more focused on my feet and keeping stable than anything else, because I do feel this weird. A moment ago I was fine, but then suddenly I felt an odd sense of isolation. But then this homunculus approached us, and I don't have time to think about that. So I charge forward, and I'm just going to use my halberd to slash across his chest.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll. And are you approaching directly, or are you trying to come up? Oh my God! Yes! Shit! Okay, what happens? Oh, don't forget. You get a point.
Yes.
Yeah, a little thingy.
I charge forward, and I think just a base, very simple slash, but my halberd feels for whatever reason lighter in my hand, and I think I get a sense of deja vu, because I don't know this, but previously I did the exact same thing, and I most likely saw how this homunculus would have reacted to the swing. So I dip my halberd slightly lower when it tries to block and slash straight across his chest. And I will, if I can, I think I can, I would splatter the blood that I draw on the trees or the trunks, tree trunks around us.
Okay. Couple of questions for you. Are you still angry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think any of that anger is still with you from, like, it was so strong and you were drawing from the dread wood to be able to do this? Do you think it came with you when you went back in time? And are you confused by how angry you are?
Yes. I think, the anger... I think seeing Titus rush to us, barely intact, brought a level of anger that was understandable, but then seeing the homunculus approach as well, it was like feeling that quadruple all of a sudden and not being sure where that came from. And I think that was what maybe made my harbor feel lighter. It wasn't that it is lighter. This raw energy powered my arms to swing much faster, much harder than I've ever done before.
Okay. So, would you... I feel like something extra is going to happen, and I'd like you to decide if it is to the homunculus, if it's damage, or if it's something else that will happen later.
Yes, I think whatever approximation or facsimile of a soul this thing has, I think my slash opened a physical wound, but I think it cut where there was keeping it secured or fully secured to its body as well.
Okay. Like soul rendering.
So, borderline soul sundering.
Yes. Okay. I love it. Who is next? Or is it my turn?
It's the homunculus's turn now.
Perfect.
Have fun.
It's coming for you, Estrella, so go ahead and roll your dodge.
And there is no shift, I'm assuming.
You can have a plus 10 shift because of what just happened from Raz. It's not...
I react.
87 failure.
Oh, she rolls an 87 failure and Leah reacts. All right, what happens?
I react with an ability that I'm going to name Glint. I draw my sword and swing it in an arc around me, and as I do, I know there's no sun coming from around me, so I'm going to have to draw the light from around me instead. And so, what I would like to happen is for the area around the swing in a circle is going to go black, as no light is being reflected from me anymore. And using what I know as depth magic, I'm going to now relocate a light around me to the sword's edge, and it's going to create a blinding light towards the homunculus to try and, well, make it miss.
Go ahead and roll for it.
Would there be a shift for this or not?
I don't think so.
There is a success.
So, what do we see?
So, I swing the sword around me, and as I do, I go invisible. The area around me is gone. You can't see me, you can't see behind me. The woods in that area seems to be in a dark void. And then, as that happens, almost instantaneously, down the edge of my sword is the only light you can see. And it's like looking at the sun during an eclipse or magnesium being lit. There's a spark, and it's aimed directly into the eyes of the homunculus. And even though it's not focusing on me, this intensity of light is enough to startle it, to daze it, so that when it does swing towards Astrea, it's a miss.
Okay. Astrea,
I just
up.
look around really confused. What the hell just happened? Okay, so while this thing is dazed, I'm gonna go ahead and just continue trying to load everything into it. So the attack with my blades that are covered in that wind energy, I'm gonna go ahead and try again to launch myself forward and try to go for that thing's claws.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for it.
All right, is there any shift or is this
No, I don't think so, unless you can argue one.
The only thing I would say is the stun, but that was for defense anyway, so
yeah,
I think that
so too.
no, it's good.
Yeah, and his reaction normally might give you a shift or a bonus, but it actually just negated a failure.
A huge attack, yeah.
Yeah.
Another
what is
failure.
Happening? Why do you think this is? Do you think it's because it looks like Titus and it's like Titus? Or is it something else? Is it this weird feeling of deja vu that's lingering?
I think it's both, right? I was fixated on making sure that Razroth was okay before we dove into this, that I kind of pushed to the side this like weird feeling off the bat. And it's only getting worse the more that this goes on, right? The more that I'm messing up, the more that I am, trying to control my blades, the more that I keep almost getting hit by these things. So I think I'm really beating myself up.
Who's next? That may or may not give you a shift next time, like a -10, if you're really on yourself about it. But also you've been doing this for a very long time, and you might be very good at compartmentalizing. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Who's up?
That would be myself. And I think I'm going to hold again.
Okay.
Okay, that's me. Yeah, I think I'm taking a look at everything around me. I dropped my sword. But I think I look at Razroth and I'm suddenly like horrified and afraid for some reason, and I just reach down and I grab my sword even though it's still burning, and I lunge forward to attack it.
Okay, go ahead and roll for that.
That's a 2.
Success. What happened?
Yeah. I think I just run the sword through this creature, and I lift up in a aggressive upward motion to pull it out of its shoulder next to its neck. I want to get like as close to center as possible, but yeah, I almost cleave it in half, basically.
Okay.
Vertically.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited for this. I need to talk to you for a second. We're doing something new now that it's part 2. Yeah. Do you remember those checks that we were going to do eventually when I felt like we were ready? Like, are you living your life the way that you thought? And are you the person that you thought you were?
Okay.
Uh-huh. Your ability is Blade defends the helpless.
Yeah.
Who are you defending right now? Who's helpless?
Titus is helpless.
But you're stabbing him.
I know.
Perfect. That's all I needed. Thank you. All right, who's next?
It would be me. After seeing Vega's blood orb, I get one of my dynamic, bright ideas.
Okay.
I'm going to try to pull the blood out of his body again like we did last time.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to get a little something more. And narrator, I would like to argue for a shift because I spent my last turn focusing and it was a success.
Okay, but if I'm gonna write this down, you tell me what what are you trying to grab from this homunculus? If it matches, something crazy cool is gonna happen. I just DM'd Brad my answer. So you tell me, what are you going for in this homunculus?
I would like to try to transmute his blood, the blood flowing from his brain,
Nope.
into an orb of memories.
Oh. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
So as the blood flows from his neck into his brain, I would like to stop that blood and try and pull out as much as I can from his creation into an orb similar to Vega's.
Okay. Anything is possible. However, memories are not stored in blood, but you're using the blood to do this because it's the same, like you are connected, right? So we can use divination is probably what you'd be rolling, and you can have a shift for the blood. Sorry guys, I'm still dealing with tech issues as well, but yes, try that for me. See what happens.
10.
What?
10 shift.
Yes. Oh, I thought you rolled a 10. I was like, I guess you do it.
10.
Oh! Yes! Oh my God. Okay, wait. Hold up. Okay, is
That's
this
the
your...
doubles 33 for listeners?
Yeah, it is. It is a doubles 33, but I actually think it's a little bit more significant than that, right? Isn't this the first success you've had on a crazy fucking idea the entire campaign? I think it is.
Yes. And it fills the top of my circle for doubles, which is
Yes.
weird in a way.
Well, that's good. So that means you get a point when you fill up that circle. All right.
Huge.
Yeah, so what do we see? What happens?
I really try to focus on that blood running up to his brain. And as it gets there, I open my eyes. And it's almost like there's a tear along my eyelid, but it's blood. So as I focus on that blood, I unseen hand it through his eye sockets, and out comes a blue shimmering substance that starts to swirl and make an orb. And I just take that and I try to make a gravitational pull for this orb around Arufir. And I look over to him and I say, we might as well get the most out of it this time. We might want to know what he does.
Oh, so that I think would be weird for your fear. Because he shouldn't remember the last 15 minutes. All right. Jesus. I guess add that to your fucking inventory. Fuck. And that'll be shift, I guess, when you use it. All right, who's next?
Me.
All right, what are you doing?
What does this thing look like again?
It's like
Same as the other one.
Yeah, sort of. It's a refined version of the one that you saw from episode 1. So it doesn't have the bat wings, and it has no bat features whatsoever. Oh, the orb. Oh yeah, it's very similar, except it's blue instead of red, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Almost a little translucent.
I suppose I'll have to deal with it in a minute. Or do I want to deal with it in a minute? I would like to this is a tough one. Actually, no, I think I will. I would like to draw from the fear of the Dreadwood. And I'd like to try and create something physical, like like crystallizing the dread and the fear that I feel from this place into a point above the creature. And then basically create like a bolt like you might find on a ballista out of the fear above this thing and aim it towards the back of this creature. However, I'm going to use the dread magic to do it.
Okay.
This is the first.
Yeah.
I have to figure out why I can't cast spells.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a shift, right?
Yeah. I think it, and feel free to argue me on it. But I feel like you have always used your magic in a specific way, and now I feel like you would have a shift that is handicapping you a little bit here because you're trying to do something different or cast without
I'll argue
emotion.
back.
Yeah,
I haven't always done it this way. I've only done it this way since I was 14.
I mean, that's a long time.
Not that long when the past is my future and my future is the past.
Okay, I'll allow it. I'm gonna use that back at you sometime, though.
Right. Split the difference instead of a 10, a 5.
Sure, if that works on the sheet.
Because I do. Here's what I will argue back on in your favor is that I don't actually know. That was Brad arguing and not Erufir. I don't know what
One and the same at
has
the moment.
happened.
Yeah, you don't know what
Not
has
really.
happened.
I know
but
what's happened, whereas yeah,
he doesn't.
Yeah. So I'll go with 15. Wow, 87 again. How many of those have we had?
Yeah, it's like the exact number, right? Like 3 or 4 of them,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking weird.
Again, though, I think I look upwards at the trees, which feel like they're bearing over me. I pull the fear from those, and then I point the staff outwards again. And I think once again, nothing happens. But there is... But maybe... well, I say nothing. No spell happens, but a magic element is there.
Okay. Are you starting
not-
to panic or feel weird about it?
No.
Okay.
I'm conducting an experiment right now. And I'm bug testing is what I'm doing.
All right.
Because there's a bug.
And you need to figure out what it is and how to fix it.
And if you don't think Blackbird's done this to me before.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's
I've
very
been through situations like this with him where he's trained me in
throwing you in the
horrible
deep
ways to
end.
figure out what's
Yep.
going on quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Plus, these guys seem to be doing just great by themselves.
Do they?
Yeah.
This time
Doing better
around.
than last time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Whose turn is it?
It is my turn. As something a little bit out there didn't seem to work, and I feel like I'm too distracted to make any intense magic work right now, especially as I imagine I've just felt Erufir draw upon this dread magic, and that is like setting me on edge as well. I'm going for a classic attack instead. Still magically imbued, but you've seen me do it a few times now. I take my sword, pull it out from the sheath, and it sort of lengthens. It becomes almost like a pole arm, where it's like, but it's 2 swords at either end, and I launch it towards the creature, trying to impale it into the ground.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for that. But also in the meantime, how are you handling the abruptness, I guess? I just want to know your thoughts on, watching Jude's soul get ripped from her body and then Irafir turning time back, and then you still have some things and you still remember everything, and that's not how the spell should work, and that's weird. I just kind of want to know what you're thinking right now.
Part of my training when I was with Irafir was largely crisis training, what to do in times of crisis and to manage the problem in front of you immediately and then start worrying about everything else afterwards. So for me, Jude is alive, she is here, she's still intact as far as I can see. I'm confused about the fact that Titus seems to, he's collected this orb the same way I collected that orb, and that to me is like, you know something, like you clearly, I remember being in that sort of realm together, so I'm very curious about what's going on there. But for now, I've got two things in mind. Keep Jude away from Razroth and make sure Razroth doesn't use dread magic and defeat this thing before he feels desperate enough that he resorts to that.
Okay.
And that was a 15 roll. Success.
Would you like to describe what happens?
Yeah, I launched this polearm and it goes straight through the creature's hand, and I think actually pins the hand back to the ground, so it would stagger backwards slightly and be sort of caught right in the ground, so it cannot move forward unless it wrenches itself free, which would cause probably enough damage to tear apart its hand.
It's like a delayed response or delayed attack almost. I like that.
Which hand? Because I like cut it from the midsection up through its neck, so like it's hanging on. One arm is hanging on from the other.
I would posit to say you would attack the same one that she has that's hanging on. Like if you could see that, why wouldn't you attack that one? I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys have worked together for a very long time, so okay. I think you fucking rip its arm off. I think when you put that pole arm into its hand, it just detaches from its shoulder, and you've ripped its arm off, and now the arm is in the ground.
And I feel like last fight I ripped its hand or its arm off as well with one of my attacks, rightly. So I'm getting a strange like sense of deja vu, and I think anybody who, if they were watching, would see it sort of shiver, an actual physical manifestation of that.
Perfect. Who's next?
Me. Seeing how much damage has been dealt already, and it's still standing, correct?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gripping my halberd, and I think if anyone's watching me, it's kind of how some people might like clench their jaw really tight but not notice, or clench the arm of their chair really tightly without noticing until they look down. And I think I am feeling this anger from now and the time before. And while it's not quite that level yet, I think at the very least this homunculus who's assumed looking at me, or at least around me, would see the reddish glint, iridescence in my eyes. And I'm going to lean into this anger because it worked just a moment ago. I want to use that to fuel my attack again, and try and take its other arm.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for it. You can have your shift for the anger.
Failure.
I react.
Oh, damn it. You can react first, then I'm gonna go. Go for it. What's your reaction?
So, as he's going up for his attack, I am going to try and assist the attack to ensure it succeeds.
Okay.
In doing so, I'm going to use my magic, the same that I've been using to essentially play with light. And for all intents and purposes, what's going to happen is that it's going to look as if Razroth has two mirror images on either side of him as he does his attack, so that this creature isn't sure which one is attacking him, to try and ensure that the attack lands. So in short, I'm casting mirror image on Razroth.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Clones, man.
Holy shit.
I would like to say that everyone in production was saying mirror images, PTSD spike, Myre no. And now, well, that's 100. But that was for trying to assist someone during their attack.
Yes.
I'm not sure what happens.
I am. You ready?
Okay.
Okay.
No, but you're going to go anyway.
Yes, I am. So, Raz, I'll leave it up to the two of you, but Raz, I was going to offer that you succeed this attack with that 86, but you fail in another way. Something not so great happens. I will offer this to you. However, keep in mind, it is going to affect Leah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll accept it.
Yeah, you will. Okay. You will succeed in this attack, but your anger is going to deeply affect you. You're not going to be able to get rid of it. And, Leah, you have it now too.
I have his anger.
That's correct. Mirror image, bro. Let's go.
Well then.
And I don't think you know how long it's going to last. I don't think you know where it's come from, but you do have it. You're both furious now. And there's something very seductive about this anger, Leah. You don't strike me as somebody who gets incredibly angry very often. Sometimes you will be firm, but yeah, so I think there's something, like, you can feel the power from this.
I think just to add to this, I think as I slash down into this homunculus, and then I feel this anger, I guess I probably feel like it's almost like you know how when you change elevation and your ears pop?
Yes.
Like you're trying, as you readjust. I feel that on like a much deeper level as this anger suddenly locks on and takes hold. While before it was kind of floating around within the space, now it seems to become clamped down onto it. And as I take a breath, just a normal breath, in physical form, a reddish mist comes out of my mouth for a moment before it dissipates again.
Okay. Okay. Follow-up question.
Yes.
I'm going to give you both a shift on any future attacks in this battle, because you're basically going berserk mode. I would like to know if you can sense that some of your anger has left you and that Leah has it.
Oh. I can roll to see if I know that Leah has it. But I think, especially after the first attack, getting the critical, and I mean, like, I'm going to lean into this again. Mm-hmm. I think I'd feel the difference if there's a difference in level. So I think I'd at least notice that. Whether or not I'll notice where it went, I'll roll for it.
Yeah, okay. Let's have you roll for it then. Because I'm intrigued to know if you...
This would be a dying roll. It would be like a skill from dying, right?
Yep.
To get over
divination
this. I'm gonna
you could do. Yeah.
I can't.
That's right. You can't use anything else. Yeah. Okay. That's right.
So I think I instinctually do reach out. I notice it move and leave, and I think I recognize the sudden loss of emotion from when Vega did this to us.
Yes.
Feels like years ago at this point. So I'm trying to divine where it went, and then once I reach for that, I don't know, faucet, I guess, to open up that channel, I notice that even no matter how much I turn the faucet, nothing comes out. I'm not sensing. I can't seem to reach that source. And when it's my turn, I'm gonna forfeit my turn, because I think I become disoriented again. I remember.
Yeah,
I
okay.
understand why I felt suddenly so isolated.
Yeah. And feel free to say no to this, but I actually think it would be super cool if you take the that exhilarated rush and almost kind of maybe an enjoyment to add to your disorientation, because that's kind of sort of what has happened to you. You don't know this yet, but essentially you have strengthened your bond between your magic's strength and your anger. So when you use your anger, your fireball is likely to be stronger or hotter or whatever the case may be. So so you probably have a rush of like adrenaline or something where you're like, yes, I'm, like, holy shit. I like when you, I don't know, you're playing a game and you beat a boss and you're just like, yeah, I nailed that. It's that kind of feeling, that rush that you get where you're just like, yes, I am unstoppable. That kind of like little taste of that feeling. All right. Who's next? I chose violence today.
I think it's a homunculus.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. I'm missing an arm, correct?
Correct.
2 arms.
Two arms.
I don't have any arms. That's right. You've taken them from me. I collapse to the ground. The homunculus collapsed to the ground and starts weeping. And it's horrific because it sounds exactly like Titus. It does not fight you. It just drops to its knees and begins to cry.
Somebody
I walk over.
Finish it.
I walk over.
Are we out of turn order?
Yeah, if somebody's going to do combat, I think. And I think Rhea is about to. Yeah.
I'm trying to, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I walk over, I take the blades, and I lunge them directly down into its face.
Okay, what's your reaction? Is it to help or to hinder?
Oh, to help, but maybe perhaps to hinder.
Okay, I'm into it. Let's have her roll first, and then you can add... Well, I guess because you might be adding a bonus or... Yeah, okay, what is your reaction?
Well, my reaction's to get there first and to do it. Or else.
To get her to do it?
No, to get there first and to do it.
Yes, okay. Oh, because you're fucking angry. Oh, yeah. Ah, okay, all right, go ahead and roll.
Okay. Oof.
Okay.
A 90 failure.
Uh-huh. Estrella, would you like to roll for me?
I would. I'm channeling all of that energy that I put into the swords now, because I want to make sure this thing is dead, and I'm having this flashback back to when we first saw the other homunculus, and I think I'm a little bit hysterical at this point, because I just want it to be over.
Right. Oh, okay.
So.
Right. Go ahead and roll for me. I do like the idea that, I shouldn't say I like the idea, but narratively it is interesting to me that you are vocalizing, I just want it to be over, considering the type of emotion and distress that you have powered into these blades. So I imagine some of that might transfer over.
Okay. Do we have any shift on that, or are we just a flat roll this time?
No, it's just a flat roll this time.
84 failure.
Failure. Okay. You again, I think.
Will attack.
Oh, you will attack. Well, no, I'm actually going to let them succeed at plunging their blades in, but something else is going to happen in return. So I'd like you both to describe what we see, because you both rush up and stab Titus, or this homunculus, and I want to know what that looks like.
Ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which part?
I think I sense...
Estrella?
I sense that Leah has kind of tried to rush up in order to make this happen. And I think that I'm already just too hysterical that I just continue to try and stab it until it's fucking dead. Just fucking kill it already!
I run up and I just start to slash at it. I think I don't make any words. I'm unintelligible. I'm just screaming at the thing, screaming, "Die! Die!" I think I swing wildly, and I might I don't know, depending on the roll, miss my mark and hit something else, but I'm trying to destroy my sword over this thing.
Are you sure?
I mean,
just because it's episode 1 after a very long break, I'm going to just remind us all that words have power and be careful how you word things.
Right. In which case, I'm trying to make this creature no more. When I say break this sword over this creature is flesh and bone. It's not going to break over this sword.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll for me.
Okay. What would I be rolling?
Put it out of its misery.
Yeah, I want you to roll magic, and Estrella, I want you to roll magic as well.
Okay.
Yes! Sorry, I am so sorry to be so excited about this, but I was hoping something like this would happen. Okay, Estrella's rolled an 88, fill your doubles. Okay, here's my proposal. I promise it's good. I think you two should unlock a new attack together, but it's dirty, it's bad, it's awful, it will either add stress to you, it will make you feel guilty at night, whatever the case may be, but it's highly effective and you guys can do a combo attack. I think you have unlocked this. Yes? Do you accept?
I accept. It'll take a second for me to think of what that would be.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just want to know if
rage.
Yeah. Well, I do think it would have to be around rage. And I think it's an attack in excess, right? Because you both are going absolutely in ape shit. So I think it's an overkill kind of attack. But it will leave you feeling a bit like something.
I don't necessarily think that it has to be channeled specifically through anger, but through extreme hardship, right? So like this is very difficult emotionally, but I think as like something goes wrong within a fight, I think that this would be something that possibly we would end up doing together.
Okay.
And I just said, for my part of the attack, I think I've come up with what it does.
Okay. I just want to be clear that Rhea is accepting as well.
Okay.
Estrella is accepting? Okay. Perfect. What does it look like? And what is this like? Go ahead. Leah, you can go first. Give Estrella some time to think.
Well, people have seen me cast all sorts of things from light magic to healing magic. I think in this moment here, it's a grim fusion of the two. For every strike I'm... Right.
It's the name of the attack. I love it. Okay, sorry. Please continue.
Okay. So, I'm going to strike at this creature, and as I do, I cause a massive gaping gouge in its carcass. And then as I swing back at it on the other side, it's going to heal it. And it's not dead, but it keeps coming back and forth from the edge of life and death as it just keeps receiving new near-death attacks and continually gets re-healed. As this happens, Rhea...
I think seeing that... Oh, go on.
No, I was going to ask you to.
Seeing that and being in the state that I am and that he is, I think that energy kind of plays up inside of me, and I end up actually summoning forth my double to do the final excruciating awful blow of just like lobbing its head off, because I want to put it out of its misery, because I know what misery is.
Holy shit. Okay. Yeah. All right. I need to know how this will weigh on each of you when you do this move. It's going to be easier for you to succeed when you're doing this kind of attack, but it always obviously is going to come at a cost to you in some way. What do you think that cost will be? It can be physical, like it's very strenuous on you to do so, or it can be mental, emotional, whatever. But it is something. Or it could be a numbness. Like you will lose a touch with your emotions if you'd like to do that as well.
I don't think I could look at Titus again without feeling rage.
Do you feel guilt too? Or just the anger?
Disgust.
Ooh, wow, okay. Jesus. Whew.
I don't know where this rage came from.
Yeah.
And
fair.
I don't know if it's gone as I've done this attack, as Astrea's been attacking it, as I've been healing her attacks. Yeah, as we've been going at this thing, I'm not sure if the rage is, burning itself out or if it's getting stronger, but I know the focus of my attack, and as a result, I think my perception of Titus has changed. Yet I'm not sure why.
Okay.
For me, it's torture, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to get the job done, but Leah is going in on this thing, and I just want it dead. So I think for me, in particular, it would fill me with a really deep sense of feeling awful about it, as well as build concern about Leah too.
Yeah.
Right? That he's in kind of that same boat, but maybe even worse than me.
Uh-huh.
Which is why I think this works, because it strengthened our bond in this really sick way.
Yeah, really horrifically grim. Okay, yes, I accept. However, because of the 88 failure doubles and the 100% critical failure from earlier, I would like to propose something on top of what you have suggested. And that is that because you specifically have been describing your magic, Leah, as taking pain or taking an attack and either saving it for later, and that's also like your healing is kind of that way, and the way you just described that you are hurting it to the point of death and then bringing it back and hurting it again, and that I would like to propose that there's some life stealing happening here, and you have to be careful because it can go both ways. And I'm also suggesting this because Rhea has died and come back, and it makes sense to me that somehow through some crazy grimdark connection that you guys have, you have somehow managed to do this. So potentially you have to be careful because you can lose your life to the enemy, or you can steal from the enemy. It could be seconds,
Right.
It could be minutes, it could be years.
Okay, I accept. I would like to correct, I think I may have misspoken when I was doing my attack.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, I was late to the party, as it were, as Astrea was slashing at this creature.
Right.
Usually I place my sword along someone to heal them, to absorb their trauma. This time around, I was swinging the sword in attack at the wounds, which was, let's say you have horizontal scoring on the body. I was striking down vertically. The horizontal wounds will disappear, being replaced, and then as she attacks, it just keeps happening. Her attacks get healed over mine, and I just wanted to kind of like just get the imagery, change or correct the imagery that I was putting down. That like we were both basically pulling this creature back and forth from the edge, not just myself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's
For
why
sure.
I think you both have maybe unlocked this with your combo attack. So so basically what we're proposing is that you have this new combo ability that you can do together. It is quite brutal. It's very strong glass cannon-y, but every time you use it, you're going to run the risk of either giving the bad guy, healing the bad guy, or potentially stealing life from the bad guy and giving it to yourself, which comes with its own set of issues.
Okay.
Okay.
In which case, whenever I try and attack while healing, it'll do this lifesteal ability. I've never done it before, and now I've unlocked that.
Potentially. Right now, I think it's only locked to your combo attack.
Right, it has to be in tandem with Astrea.
Yes, that's right.
Gotcha.
But it doesn't have to stay that way. If you choose to dive into that kind of magic, it's up to you.
All right.
Can I pull rank with my crit success from earlier?
For what?
I said that with my initial slash, I severed or at the very least weakened its connection with its soul and physical body. As it dies,
Oh, it's not
can
dead
I
yet.
see? It's not dead yet.
It's not dead yet.
Okay. Even better then. I would like, and if I need to roll again for this, that's fine. But I would like to fully separate it from its body, like fully, completely. I'll throw my halberd through its chest and pin its soul to a tree behind it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
What does it mean to be good?
I don't know. Would this be combat or would it be magic?
Magic, for sure.
Magic,
You're ripping
okay.
this thing's soul out of its body.
Do I get any shift?
You do.
I loosened its soul.
Yes, you can have a 10 shift for that, but also because of your anger state. I was giving you both a shift for it.
And can I don't know if it'll be relevant since it's soul-based, but I did slash it and then flick the trees of its blood.
Yeah. I still think you'd only have a 20 shift, though. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking about upping it to 30 for the rest of the chapter 2 or part 2 or whatever, but...
Yeah,
78, partial
78.
success. Okay. I will let you fully succeed in trade.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, yeah, you fully fucking rend the soul. You take the soul out. However, it's going into Lear's sword.
Do I know this?
Yes. When it happens.
When it happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either you can choose to put it there or it gets taken from the sword. Maybe perhaps because he's in the middle of stabbing it and he's being so angry and aggressive and he just wants to end it that somehow this Titus soul gets sucked into there.
Yeah, I don't think I know that his that Leah's sword can do this. So I don't think it's on purpose. I think I just tried to rend its soul and pull it from his body, and in the slashes that Leah is delivering to this thing ends up.
Then I don't think you know it went into the sword. If you're unaware that his sword can do this, then I don't think you know.
Yeah.
I think you think you're taking it and ripping it out, and maybe you don't even think about the consequences of ripping a soul out and whatever because you're so angry at the moment. But yeah, it does get ripped out, and Lear, you know, obviously, that it is going into your blade.
I think the sword gets heavier, but I don't think it stops me from swinging. I think that unless somebody stops... Before I continue interpreting this rage, Razroth, how do you feel anger? Does it simmer within you? Do you burst out? What is rage to you?
Since we've established that we cast magic in different ways, and mine is based on high emotion. Whenever I'm in some situation where I have high emotions, chances are I want to change it, and I use that to cast my magic. So I think I'm always feeling some kind of emotion at a simmer at the very least, or at least with the lid on, and sometimes on purpose when I need it most, I will remove that lid, or in some cases that will just boil over and explode. I think right now, and obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't seem the type to always have some kind of intense high emotion going on. So I think even at simmer, even at Razroth simmer, it might be a lot for you.
No,
so it might be like
no doubt. In which case, even after this creature is gone, I think you might... I'm digging through it. I was standing over its torso, but now I'm in a space where its torso was, just swinging down at whatever is left behind of its body, just swinging. I may be about 4 or 5 inches deep into the ground, just digging into where it was, screaming.
I would like to walk up behind
contrast.
him. Sorry.
No, I just think in stark contrast, I walk past Leah. You can tell that I'm angry, but I'm not physically raging as I pull my halberd out from the tree.
Okay. Now, Jude, you wanted to walk up and I think interact with Leah, correct?
I did, yeah.
Before we do that, Titus, what does this homunculus' soul look like?
It kind of looks like a mix of purples and reds with a little glimmer in it. And a little bits and pieces of it look like blood. And it's almost shaped like a heart, but jagged.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So who sees this? I know Vega and Titus see it because they've just been in a strange state. But does anybody else see this soul? Jude?
Too busy.
No.
Okay. You're too
I'm
busy.
focused on
Rhea.
Leah.
Yep, you're focused on Leah. All right. What about you, your fear?
I think I see it.
Yeah, okay. So I think what we see is, this ethereal version of Titus that is getting ripped out by the center, this soul that he just described, right where his heart would be, but maybe a little bit lower in the center of that rib cage. And it's like when Raz, when you do this, is it you doing it? Or do we see an ethereal, like for people who are looking at this, obviously it's not going to look, like you're just grabbing the air unless that's what you want. Or is there an ethereal version of you that steps out to grab it and take it?
I think for everyone who can't see the soul, I think you literally see Razroth, like a javelin thrower, throw their halberds just at the air, slightly above this homunculus, and then it gets pinned into the tree.
Okay.
For people who can see the soul, I think what you see instead is a flicker of that demonic form that Vega and Titus saw in the other realm.
Okay.
Like I said, twice as large as him, horns almost the size of half of him, adding on to his incredible height, and it just reaches out. I think its arm length is enough to just grab onto this soul.
Yeah.
Before it gets pulled
Oh my
into.
god, that's such a cool visual. Okay, so we see Raz do his javelin, right? And this creature is going to get struck right in the middle and thrown back and pinned to a tree. But we also see, for those of you who can see the soul portion of this, you see this demonic version of Raz that's kind of, ethereal, almost spirit-like, grab at this creature before it is before it's out of range and pinned to the tree. And from it rips its soul. And so you see a battered version of Titus, and this is not a homunculus. This looks like Titus. His limbs have been severed and reattached with what look to be like spider limbs, and inside the center is this what he described for what his soul looks like. He is crying. He looks defeated and confused, and then he goes into the sword. And the fight is over.
I walk up to Lear, and I'm gonna, if he's close to the ground, I'm just gonna fall to my knees, and I'm gonna wrap my arms around him from behind and stop him and just hold him.
I seize up.
Breathe. Slower. Again. It's okay. You're safe.
I'm safe.
You're safe.
I'm safe. What are we doing here, Jude?
We are making sure people are safe.
How can we do that when we can't make sure we're safe? It makes me so angry!
Breathe. Control it. You won't always be angry. And we can decide then. For now, all you have to do is breathe. That's all. It's done.
It's done.
I turned to look at Vega.
I was staring hard at Razroth.
I've taken a seat on the ground, and I'm just looking down at the twigs and rocks and leaves on the woods floor.
And I glanced at Arafir.
Arafir, what are you doing?
I'm looking at Titus.
Titus, what are you doing?
Staring directly back at him. Watching his orb kind of go around him, and then my glance shifts to Vega and hers.
Rhea, what are you doing?
You hear my swords clink next to me, and I collapse to my knees, and I'm crying.
And for us, those watching, for the first time, we see Estrella's counterpart, her second, the thing she summons, which is a version of her. Again, it's kind of ethereal, ghostly looking. It moves without her commanding it to do so. And she puts a hand on Estrella, her shoulder, while she's on her knees weeping. And she looks out into the wood as if something in the distance has just called her name.
So I was trying to channel Leah playing Valorant for my anger.
Here we are. Welcome back to part 2 of Kingmakers. Holy shit, that was amazing. Who wants to start with shoutouts? That was so fucked up and dark. I loved every second of it.
Delicious.
Yeah, no, I'll go
What?
first. Hi.
Brad's
Hi, I'm
on
Drak. Or Drakoniques on Twitter, or Hive, or Tumblr, or wherever else we end up migrating to. That's DRAKONIQUES. I'm in a bunch of different campaigns and streams and a bunch of stuff behind the scenes for very cool stuff in the works. But the only thing I'll shout out is that on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern over on Vana's channel, that's VANA, I'm in a Strixhaven campaign called Higher Education, where we're grad students in Strixhaven University writing our thesis and trying to ascend to godhood. And we've reached a point where it's turned more into how to get away with murder. So if you're into that kind of stuff, give it a watch. It's going intense.
Good. That sounds amazing. Who's up? Pass. That's what we do, right? You call out who we're passing to.
Myre.
Oh, hello, my name is Myre. I played Leah Vin Bladeguard, Razroth's rage buddy now. Rage bro. Actually, I have 2 rage bros because Astrea is also my rage bro.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah.
I just cry after.
Yeah, it's rage and sorrow, right?
Yeah, rage and sorrow, yeah.
Rage and despair. It's so good.
I mean, like, Razroth's more his rage daddy, but, anyway. Today was great. It's good to be back. And I don't know what else to say apart from you can find me at twitch.tv/Myre. I'm doing a bunch of things at the moment on Twitch, mostly video game news, and then following Star Citizen development and some variety sometimes. On Twitter, that's the other place you can find me. That's twitter.com/Myre_test. That's me. Leah, the other Leah.
Leah 2. Hello. That was really fun. That was fun. I was just being shell-shocked the whole time. Like, what is happening? What's happening? What are you doing? You're doing what I expect you to do? I hate it. What's going on? It's going to be fun to have the group therapy session next week when we're all like, okay, debrief. What's going on? But hi, I'm Leah. You can find me on twitch.tv/Leah doing whatever the heck I want whenever I feel like doing it. And that is
the perfect
essentially
shout-out.
my life. Faye.
Hello, I'm the other Vega. I played Astrea today. You can catch me on my channel doing all sorts of stuff, play all sorts of games, but I've been doing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 roleplay recently with good old Leah as well as my senior deputy buddy. You can catch me on my channel as Fhaelin, that's Fhaelin. It's the same on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Hive, all that good stuff. So that's where you can find me. Let's go ahead. I'll pass it on over to Johnny.
Hello. I will be super swift, but I took a lot of notes today, and I just want to share all of them in a speed form. PB has this thing where she says damage or cool, and everyone always chooses cool, and that's why we always lose fights, and I love it narratively, but at the same time, I'm like, pick damage! Do some damage! And we're all like, pick the cool thing, and like, it just happens every session, and I love it, but then I'm like, in Kingmakers, we're injured a lot. Oh yeah, it's because we pick the cool thing all the time. Moving on, Myre's so cool, I have it underlined. Brad is also so cool. My future is my past, and my past is my future, and I was like, Mirggles, the yoga is showing, and I would love for you to make a just a ASMR telling me to breathe. That was great. I was actually like, whoa, this sounds like yoga on YouTube. That was great. A lot of combo stuff today that was really cool. I'm also riding a big high because pretty much every time after Kingmakers I get on this show, have a crazy harebrained idea, it fails, and then do a bunch of screaming and injury RP. And today I'm like, whoa! Today's the day we succeeded, and it was a 33, and I'm really hyped about it. Today was awesome. It was really fun to be back. Yeah, thank you. About dang time. It felt really good. I'm also really excited to see what happens with this memory orb and
because I'm like, oh, this is such cool RP fuel. I'm JohnnyBlamz. If you like cowboys and roleplay, you can find me over my channel probably in about an hour where I'm premiering a new character. So yeah, if you want to find me there, and you might see other people from this cast. So yeah, I'm gonna throw it on over to Mirggles.
Oh geez, hello, I am Mirggles. I'm also gonna keep it brief. Number one, the yoga is showing is my new favorite pickup line. Second of all, I'm Mirggles, and you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Mirggles. I stream for 1 hour a day now during the workday. It's called the coffee hour, and it's just like chatting time if you want to hang out and you need a break or you just woke up. It's at 8 a.m. EST. And also come and check out Ashes of Eriador. 3 of us are on that on Thursdays at 4 p.m. EST, also on Tablestory. Thank you.
Brad, right?
Brad.
Yes. I have everything and nothing to say about this episode, so I'm just gonna go with nothing. And you just, I don't know, man. This show is something else, and I have so many theories, and it hurts my head. Speaking of theories that hurt my head, I'm a Deadly Premonition streamer because PB told me to play it. She doesn't even like the game, but she told me to play it. Doesn't even like it herself. Thought that she liked it, and then I played it, and I said, "This is shit, PB. Why did you make me play this for the last 8 days?" And she went, "I hated it too. I forgot."
No, I do like it. I do like it. It's just
it's
at
the
the
worst.
It just so happens that I went and I checked my VOD and I'm ranting.
And you hated
it's the exact same shit too that I'm saying. I'm like, I can't believe there's more to this game. Like, I'm so disappointed by the story and the loophole. Like, verbatim, 2 years ago, we're the same person.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I liked it. So something must happen, or I just forgot. I don't know.
Something must happen.
Something must happen, or I
it's
just.
going to be something really good. And that something will probably happen tomorrow. I think I'm going to complete that tomorrow, so you can come to my stream to watch that if you want. Or the next day there will be a game vote, and no games that PB suggests will be on it, I promise.
Yep.
Ever again.
Except for Silent Hill.
That. Except for Silent Hill, but you know, everyone likes
Which
Silent Hill,
already
so we can
won
just
the
pretend
game
someone
vote
else
once, and you
suggested it.
just decided not to play it. Just throwing that out there, you know. And you're just like, I
Did it?
can't be bothered. Yeah, I won a series run
I
vote,
won?
and you're like, can't be bothered to do it.
Should have done that with the new one. This other stupid game you made me play.
Yep. Whoops. Never again.
And it's shaken all trust I have in PB and her judgment. And really not looking forward to the end of this now.
Yeah.
Kingmakers.
Yep.
Ending.
Yep.
That's it.
That's great. That's wonderful. You can find him at tablestory.tv/swat.
It was all a dream.
He wakes up and he just PB's nightmare.
I'm expecting it to be something
Phoebe
like
waking
that
up
now.
in a dark room.
Oh, I have an idea for a table story show. Jesus.
You weren't
Very light
She wakes up. I want to play Metal Gear, and that's it.
Oh, that's terrible. Okay, and hi, it's me. I'm terrible. It's Pumpkinberry. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at Pumpkinberry. But more importantly, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. I know we had tech issues. I will fix them for next time. Thank you for bearing with us. Please rate and review the show on Apple. And the other thing I have to say is we have a surprise for you. Would you like to know what it is? Yes?
No?
Oh, yeah, no, Brad. You're like, you should be scared. You know what it is. All right. Hold on. To your butts? Is that what I want to say? Maybe?